I want to welcome everyone to another edition of Guidance for the Soul Live. The difference between guidance and intuition is a story to be told by every one of us at some point in time. These are stories that we tell each other when we look into the mirror and tell ourselves, I know exactly what's going to happen, right? How many people are so confident in who they are that they feel like they have got it all figured out and their belly is telling them the answer? This is where most people are going to align with at some point in time. It is not a gut feeling that most people actually feel. Most people are listening to their minds. If you have those intuitive insights, that's a whole different story. The flashes of intuition, the thoughts that suddenly appear in your mind, right? Or is it the prickly feeling in your body? You see, intuition is a skill, not a trade. And I'm going to talk about what that means. So many souls are banking on intuition as the way into soul, and we're going to tell you why that can be misleading. What? What does that mean? A way into soul. It's a path of discovery for all of us. We all have it. We all utilize it to various degrees. It's not a demeaning of intuition. It's the banking on it that many people are realizing can be a hindrance to their journeys. How many times have I been down this path before is what we often say to ourselves. And then we look out into the world and we see the patterns that play out on the screen, right? Many are utilizing the vision of intuition as a jumping in point for the vision of guidance. And what we would say is that can indeed be your own vision of your own soul coming through for you, planting those visions of aha into your awareness. You'd have to be aware, first of all, of the ability to be open to the idea that intuition exists. There are many souls who don't even align with the idea of what that even is. Others are very skilled in the apparent wisdom of it. I align with the patterns of my soul. My soul tells me everything I need to know. That's where the majority of people are actually landing. When they get those intuitive hits, it is your soul giving you those wisdom. It's like wisdom. It's not wisdom in the sense of I need to do something. What you do with it is up to you. What you do with intuition is something that you play with, you discover, you enjoy it, right? Versus I'm creating a tragedy from it. How many people are saying, I utilize my intuition to tell me what is right for me or not right for me based on previous experiences of soul vision? Or is it a pattern being played out on the screen? Most people know what intuition is, right? How about a higher level understanding of it? When you start to see the visions play out in your world that you indeed predicted, what does that tell you? Is it for your own purpose, or are you now intuitive in the vision of I can predict for others as well? Right? And we're not talking about psychic vision. That's a very different vision. Intuition is that I'm going through the visions of love that have, come to me spontaneously. That's what many are looking for. Versus I know how to think my way through a situation and I can utilize my gut instinct tells me there's something fishy, right? That's kind of where that kind of vision can go. It can be looked at negatively. It's a step in the right direction is where most people are excited about. I get those little intuitive hits all the time and we cheer you on. Don't demean your intuition. Don't deny it. Many of us have been taught to override our intuition to our own detriment. Okay? And that's where some of us have experienced some situations that were hurtful to our hearts and our minds, or our bodies even. Okay? It is an innate tendency to align with those situations that allow for us to grow. and to see the beauty of who we are from various levels of understanding. Now, when you talk about my intuition is spot on with you, right? How many people are assuming they know what intuition is with another person? Most people are very good at utilizing intuition for their own hearts. When it comes to others, though, you can often see only half of the predictive quality come through. Your own perceptions about what may or may not be going on can be very limited once you hit those vibrations of I am now with my own soul. At that point, you start to understand the vision of beauty is within it as well. It's not to be demeaned. It's not to be enhanced. It is what it is. When you go to your soul is not always necessarily going to tell you what is or isn't coming your way. But we will give you that vision of, I know what is exactly coming my way. When my soul comes to me in my vision and says, I can tell you who you're aligning with ahead of time. I can tell you what you're going to talk about, and I can tell you the kind of experience that you're going to have. How about that for guidance? That's why soul strength is so beautiful. Intuition is one way in. It's part of the process. We have to align with that idea of who can tell me what is next in my process of discovery of soul. Okay, because it's part of who we are. It's a natural flowering of our souls to bring in that kind of guidance and say, I don't demean any soul's wisdom. So, if I'm playing the game of life, as many love to, we would say, let's enhance our experience by denying the intuition as the highest way to go, right? Not on your life. It can be a very high source of wisdom for many of us. It doesn't mean it is less than. Most of us are not on the path of soul discovery in the intuitive vision of what is possible. We can limit our discovery process by utilizing our intuition as a source of rejection. If we think about that, very close. How do I know what this is going to bring me? It could be a growth point. It may not be the most enjoyable process, but will it actually hurt me? Or am I here to discover whether or not my intuition is on point? You see, think carefully about the innate discovery process that we have, right? My intuition tells me I'm beautiful, but yet others are saying I'm not. That's what many people talk about. They say, what is this beautiful thing? It's not about our physical attributes. It's the wisdom within. And that's why we don't tell people that intuition is less than guidance. But what we can say is that when you align with your soul and you start to receive those guides of other, right? That's when you can get the golden ticket to discovery of soul. That's a whole different process. And this is why guidance for the soul is one of those, it's like the blue ticket. It's not the guidance for the soul that is of, oh, I'm all that and more. That's ego vision that we often reinforce when we have our intuitive hits. What we would say is that my ego is beautiful and my ego is telling me that this isn't the right thing for me. I want to know how to tap into my intuition is what many are learning. It's a process of discovery of it. And most people are going to start looking for those signs. Now, what happens is that when you start looking for them, then you can start seeing them, right? Because you are creating them as well. You're creating the visions of victim. If you create from that place of this is going to cause me some problems. My intuition is telling me this is going to cause me some problems. What do you think you might be creating with that? Versus, let me open up to the discovery of my intuition and see what comes about. Am I really so sure about who I should be aligning with? Based on what system of alignment are you working with? You see, so many people are putting limitations on their own discovery process. They don't even allow for the family trees to come through and say, my intuition was spot on with who was going to stay together. I had that vision. Did I actually create it? Or was it an intuitive understanding of the nature of the ways of people? There are many souls who are claiming I am superior in my intuitive abilities. And we would say, it's just that you're paying attention to the nature of certain souls. What we would do is we would say, don't discount any words of wisdom that come your way. That's literally what we want people to honor. Because when we come into contact with souls who say, I love you, then we often reinforce those values. It's the ones that say, I don't agree with you, that we then start to say, my intuition is telling me I'm not going to enjoy that exchange. And then we limit our process of discovery. Do you see what that means? Okay. So if you're in it to win it, right? If you want to be more aligned with the nature of discovery, you might challenge yourself to a little bit of wisdom seeking in the field of intuition. Intuition doesn't allow for strength to come in. Strength of mind is very different than I have an intuitive understanding of who I am, and I know that I love myself, and I'm not going to demean myself by keeping myself in the presence of others who demean me, right? It's a demeaning of ourselves. So we're not telling people to enter in any situations in which you feel like you're going to be demeaned or that you're going to be somehow valued as less than. But this is part of it. This is where so many souls are going. They're saying, I want to hear the guidance. You may not be ready for it. And we say that with all honesty because it's not the most pleasant process according to a lot of people. How many people are hearing that vision? Right? It depends on where you are in your life. Okay, intuition can be the best thing for you, and you would still highlight it as it's A1, right? This is the necessary ingredient for a certain vision. Someone on the screen is talking about their steak vision, by the way. And that's the kind of intuitive vision that someone will start to understand, that we don't just sit here and hand people their visions left and right, but we can do that vision. So if you are at that point in your discovery process where you're saying, I want to inhibit my intuition, right? Why would we inhibit our intuition? Our intuition is an innate strength, and we don't demean it, even if we're in the field of vision of guidance. Because when you are out and about, you're not always in touch with your own soul's vision. And that's what will happen. And Brenda got her hat handed to her by that, because in essence, what happens is you're often set free from your soul to see how you do without the field of, I am guided step by my soul. Okay? Some of us are in that vision of it, and we know it. Okay? But we don't always enforce the vision of, I need to listen to somebody else's ideas about intuition or guidance. I don't need to know what that is. Most people know the difference, right? But how do you tap into the highest nature of who you are? Intuition is one of your strengths. Utilize it. How many people feel less than in a lot of fields of vision? Like, I haven't made it there yet, and I want so much more, right? We're on that path of discovery. And that's what we want to encourage everyone, is that your own guidance is your own, it's like the inner compass. That's a beautiful point of discovery. Okay, we would equate that with the soul of soul. Your own inner compass is the guidance for you. Okay, and it comes to you in various shades. Okay, so this is another one that is coming through. The wintertime blues are where many are going to find themselves at some point, and we want to honor that. People are thinking, what? This is an intuitive vision, right? How many people are assuming this winter is not going to be so good for us because I'm going to feel like we're stormed in? Is that actually true? Maybe, maybe not, right? Those are the predictive visions that we keep putting upon not only ourselves, but those around us. Many people condition themselves to see the negative in the vision. And that can like influence your own intuition. If you're in the mindset of, oh, I love who I am and look at what I'm producing around me, that's the beautiful vision of love for it. And then it starts to reinforce itself and you start to get more and more of those hits. And we say that you keep track of them, you write them down, you honor it, you say thank you to yourself or to the universe, whatever it is. It's your own intuitive vision that's coming through. And you honor that vision with a silent thank you. You don't have to talk out loud, of course. You can just do a silent thank you to the universe for showing me more of who I am. I'm the intuitive wizard, is what some say. They feel like they're a wizard. We grant you the magic of love. It's the magic of soul. That's part of it. It's part of our discovery process. It's the part of our system of love. Okay? And when you honor that and say, well, is this more about the sameness of it? Is there a sameness to who we are? And is that why I'm picking up on it? It can be. The energy behind it, those influencers of the world are going to tell you to enhance those energetic impulses and ride the waves of love as much as possible. And yet, in your own intuition, are you understanding whether or not you are actually there? Are you feeling the vibration of love? Are you hearing the voices in your head telling you, I don't want to be there. I don't want to be one of those people. I don't want to be one of those people that needs to be telling everyone that I love them. That's part of it. There's a social conditioning happening on the planet that needs to be addressed. This is where Brenda goes with retribution. It's an intuitive vision, right? It was brought to her during a conversation that she was having on the phone with a friend about what is holding us back. My intuition tells me that if I say the right thing or the wrong thing, I'll get different results. Right? Those are those kinds of insights that we often have based on what we see going on around the world. And so it's a learning process, a discovery process of what works. That's what most people are looking for. Tell me what works for me. Well, that's an individual soul session. Your own intuition is always at work. It's always playing out in the field of vision. You just don't realize it. You may have those sudden impulses that lead you down a certain path. That's the vision you want to follow. If you hear the vision, turn left, by all means you turn left. Right? That's going to give you those visions of where you go, right? It could be something that shows up for you. Don't discount the people who are saying, I see signs, okay? My gut is telling me that's a sign for me to do X, Y, or Z. If you believe in intuition, by all means, believe in those signs that you often get in whatever way you receive them. Now, when we go to guidance, we can say we're all guiding ourselves. There's so many levels of guidance, and it's not about better than. Sometimes a simple solution is all we need. I love who I am. I love my mind. I love my body. I'm tuning into the nature of my soul. That's where most go. So when we came through with the vision of intuition, right, it's because we know it feels right for so many people. Utilize the vision of I feel good about this soul, or I feel good about my own vision for who I am. That is honored always when you are in the vision of this lady. Your soul vision will always be determined to be honest in its presentation. I may not agree with the guidance that I receive as a soul, but I will understand it at some point. Why did I do what I did? All soul guidance utilizes the visions of possibilities to see if there is anything that can get us on a different path of discovery. If our current path is one of pain and torture, or of, it's like people are going to talk about the slave state. It's not meant to be a living standard. Okay? Most people are starting to feel like their lives are being demeaned based on society's ideas, whether it is in the spiritual enlightenment camp or the political camp or various other systems of discovery. And this is where your soul rises and you say, now that's the kind of guidance I want. I don't need to align myself with any other soul vision other than what feels right for me. But it doesn't mean that we allow for people to walk on us who are part of our lives. My intuition is telling me I need to go. Do you know how many people are getting told that they need to just leave other people behind because their vibration is somehow bad? That's not how it works. I can tell you whose soul is coming into your vibration and what they're there to teach you. I'm there to teach you to open up to the nature of love from another level of understanding. How many people now see why intuition can be a limiting factor in our minds? Right? Am I playing out those scenes? I love who I am. That's granted to all. That's what you receive. There's no such thing as intuitive guidance that is somehow demeaning to who we are, correct? Unless we've taken it on from someone else's ideas of what they think is best for me. As a soul, I don't think so. Now, others will say that's a very arrogant way to be. When you go to your soul, you don't necessarily align with everybody, but you can honor them. It doesn't mean you have to agree with them, does it? Right? These are the topics of guidance, right? Where we go explore in depth, in the process of discovery. You're going to want guidance about what part of my intuition am I looking at? Am I expecting roses every week? This is something granted to me. It's guidance. Would I have just assumed that the roses were going to be coming to me every week in the future? It's not something I planted, yet it comes. And that's why guidance rules. Okay? It rules the roost in this woman's mind because she gets her hearts handed to her and saying, here, we're giving you the beauty of who you are and where you're going. And if you don't like it, what can we do? Please take another step forward. Right? Tell me who I am. Most are going to want to know, well, where are we? This is the nature of soul alignment as well. Tell me that's not going to rock the world. My soul aligns with how many people at what point in time, right? How many people are getting told about the stories of guides who are saying, I'm lifted up to the nature of love of all, and so I get to write these visions of books that are going to tell everyone how to be in order to free themselves from the conditioning of their minds. You don't want to go through that process unless you're in a position to do so. It can give you various, it's like results. The shades of winter is one of them. I'm telling you, someone here is thinking about the shades of winter. It's going to make sense for somebody. And we want people to understand that in your vibration of love as a soul, because you are all soul, you are all visions of love. You are all working your butts off to try and be something that you aren't. If that is the case, don't try to be anything other than who you are. Let go of any ideas that there's something wrong with you at this point in time. Most people are being conditioned to do a lot of work on who they are versus it's like the expression of joy that many have at that. Okay, you don't need to do the work. Okay, we're exploring various, it's like states of awareness. Okay, now it doesn't mean that some people are here to do the work so they can vibrate out of it and then see it for what it was. I did that work, by the way, in the spiritual enlightenment zone, where I then thought, oh, I'm supposed to be blessing everybody or whatnot with different vibrations because I was placing judgment on them about being what, in a different state than what I was vibrating in, and somehow I was considering myself in a higher state of awareness. You get your hat handed to you by many because they say, oops, that's what I do. It's a beautiful process of expressing joy for another. How many people understand that? I get my heart handed to me by souls who say, I feel higher than my family. I feel better than my family is what you feel. If you feel better than your family, that's a different kind of vision. Higher than it's like determined by soul vision. Most people think they know how to pinpoint someone's vibration. Are you kidding me? Based on where they are. Do you know how many realms of discovery we've got? So if I go into a political ideology realm, I can outlast just about everybody with what values come through from the soul level about political ideologies. Others would say that's a lower vibration, depending on what conditioning you've taken on in your journey of soul. Okay, and so that's the kind of strength that guidance can come through with, and you will see various levels of guides coming through with, and some of the most simple words of wisdom can be the highlight of someone's day. And we want people to honor those visions of those posts of short and sweet and to the point. Okay, does this resonate with me? Beautiful. Latch onto it, right? Create with it, explore it, discover it, ask yourself those questions, right? If I'm answering a question, am I in the past too much? How many people are being encouraged to go to their past and rehash everything? That can give you mixed results. It can give you a disaster as well, depending on what's going on, okay? Now, whether or not you're in the mindset of I'm free and clear of all conditioning, well, let's think about that one. That's where a lot of people go, right? And your intuition will tell you, does it feel good for me to be superior? That's where a lot of people are landing, okay? I've had my bouts with that one. And then I get it brought back to me from a soul level, and that doesn't feel so good. You want to align with the highest vision of love for who you are. And then you say, I understand we're all in this together. We are all in this world together. We are all creating the vision of love. It doesn't mean we have to honor everyone that's hurting us, does it? Right? So many people challenge that vision by saying, my gut tells me this one's going to hurt me. Then by all means, avoid that situation. We're not asking you to take on the vision of my intuition is telling me I need to discover more pain. Okay, that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is that a lot of the intuitive insights that we claim are not actually intuition, but just mindsets that we've become accustomed to in the way that we feel right for us. The sudden flashes of fame for many are what Brenda sees. There are plenty of people on the screen who she deals with who had their intuitive flashes of fame. As a child, Brenda knows her vision. She is here to do the stage work. She's here to discover the souls of souls. That's where you all are. You just don't realize it. You are all connected. You are all aligned. You are all beautiful. Whether or not you agree or not is up to you. It's your discovery process that I honor. It's your wisdom that I honor. It's your hearts that I honor. What I don't do is it's like beat around the bush when it comes to discovery. Many people are going to discover that they are not in alignment with who I am in various processes, right? It depends on what vision you're looking at. I don't just vibrate in one vibration, right? I have my off days. We all do. During those off days, I can have my my hat handed to me. I can have my heart handed to me too. I get consoled by my soul. Okay, so there is a difference in that kind of vision of intuition and guidance, and we're not discounting any vision of either. It's about allowing for your own souls to see the beauty of who you are, whether or not you ride that ride of love for self and others or not. Some people do not understand the strength of soul, and so they place it as less than. It's a field of discovery that will rock your world. It can be a wild ride, or it can be a gentle journey. And so with that in mind, we're going to say, look for those visions of love that get handed to you. Acknowledge the prayer visions as well. It's not all bad. It's like there's someone there with Stonyfield as well, okay? Stonyfield yogurt. So that's an intuitive vision, right? No, that's a guidance message for myself. That's the kind of stuff that can come through for you. Now, it could be it's in alignment with others, but this is our time. And I want to thank you for joining me for this short episode of Guidance for the Soul. Allow for your own soul's discovery to happen naturally. Don't rush the process. It's not needed. It's not a thinking journey. It's part of it. It's the feelings that come along with the intuitive visions that we love. I love you. Take care in your visions of discovery. Be prepared for a wild one for some of you who are in that. It's like the ride of your lives. You like those wild rides, okay? So I want to honor that. So with that, thank you again and have a wonderful, wonderful day.